Meantime, North Korean leader Kim Jong Un is still in Russia 2 days after he met with Russian President Vladimir Putin, and he vowed his full and unconditional support. Today, Kim Jong Un is visiting a plant in eastern Russia that builds fighter jets. He's also visiting an eastern port city to view Russia's fleet in the Pacific Ocean. This is a days-long visit. It has prompted a lot of concern that North Korea could supply ammunition for Moscow's war in Ukraine. In return, Russia could supply North Korea with some technology it needs for its military spy satellites. NewsNation senior national security contributor Lieutenant General Richard Newton is with us. Always a pleasure. He served as the Assistant Vice Chief of Staff for the U.S. Air Force. Concerning, alarming, dire this partnership between North Korea and Russia may be. What troubles you the most about the weaponry and technology we're talking about that could get swapped?
Well, good morning, Marni. I believe the best term is concerning. Kim, this is his first visit actually outside of North Korea in 4 years. And he's meeting with, or has already met with on Wednesday with President Putin. By the way, before that meeting occurred on Wednesday at Vostokny, which is their space center, he had fired off 2 ballistic missiles as a test. And so that brings to date 20 this year. He had 30 last year. And so you have to look at it from a very strategic standpoint. But this is very concerning because as Russia and North Korea start to become closer and closer, it provides tension not only between Russia and the United States, but also in the region between Japan and South Korea, where tensions are already very high. And so this is a significant meeting, and there's needs on both sides. First and foremost, Putin is running out of ammunition. You and I have talked about this, many times. This war of attrition, Marni, is now in the 19th month in Ukraine, and so he's running out of ammo. So he's going to a pariah, if you will, of North Korea to try to get some old Soviet-era ammunition. Meanwhile, Kim is trying to modernize his military. It's the 4th largest military, by the way, in the world. He's trying to garner technologies for satellite capabilities, especially reconnaissance capabilities, but also for technologies that can help him build a nuclear submarine fleet. And so there's lots to be won here on both sides as this relationship is concerning and is growing.
And if Putin does buy or swap weapons with North Korea, he would be violating a UN Security Council agreement. Does he care?
He doesn't care because he's out there on the edge. He's been out there. He had the largest invasion of any invasion ever since World War II. So his care factor is relatively low here. But he is trying to make sure that he is courting North Korea, but also there's President Xi in the background in China and so forth. And so they're silently approving this. And frankly, between Putin, Xi, and Kim, they'll do just about anything to, provide challenges to the Biden administration as they see us, trying to help and support President Zelensky, as you mentioned before, with the war in Ukraine, but also trying to grow sphere of influence in the Asia-Pacific India region. And so anything that they can do to lash up and team up will be more confounding to the United States as the global security picture, Marty, becomes even more and more precarious.
And seen as a sign of desperation that he's turning to North Korea for help, but also could it indicate an impact that the sanctions are having on Russia's production capabilities?
They are. His production capabilities are limited not only in the military sphere, but also in energy and electronics and so forth. The Biden administration, I think, has appropriately been sanctioning nearly 3,000 individuals and businesses. And the latest sanctions that were just announced include 150 more from Russia, but also from the nation state of Georgia, as well as United Arab Emirates, and then also Turkey. And so we're doing everything we can to sanction, but still they're, leaked out are other avenues of approach for Russia to get those technologies and those capabilities. And so, but it does indicate, however, that he's running out of options, and he's going to, as someone have said, scraping at the bottom of the barrel here, trying to offer up technologies for Kim and then try to get some ammo that the Soviet Union had provided North Korea decades ago. And so that's where we're at.
$24 billion, that is what President Zelensky will be in the U.S. to try to make his case that the U.S. continues to supply munitions and humanitarian aid. How difficult will that be for him in front of this Congress, as we have already spent billions of dollars and there's starting to be, at least from some far-right Republicans, some hesitation to supplying that aid?
There's some challenges on the far right politically, but there's also on the left side, certainly as we approach 2024 for elections. But President Zelensky is, the greatest foe right now. Is certainly the significant foe is Russia. But now that we're, as I mentioned, in the 19th month of this war, it's now becoming a challenge for President Zelensky in Ukraine to keep up, the spirit within NATO, but certainly within the United States. And he can read the political landscape in the United States as well as anybody. And that's why he's coming here after the UN General Assembly early next week. And then he'll meet with President Biden, as you said, and then this address to Congress. He addressed Congress back in December of 2022. Now he's on the heels of what we see as a eventual $24 billion offer by the Biden administration. One last point on that, what could be, and I'm going to be looking very closely, is whether or not that includes the Army Tactical Missile System, which would be a significant battlefield capability to hold the Russian command and control capabilities as well as their supply chain, especially down in Crimea. And so if we can get that capability in the hands of the Ukrainians, I think it could be a near game changer for this counteroffensive that's starting to begin to get some momentum, Marni.
I'm glad you brought that up. We'll be watching that closely. Always enjoy our conversation. Lieutenant General Richard Newton, have a great weekend. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.